everyone, Soundwave8084. In this Studio Series review, take a look at Studio Series 86, Bonecrusher, Deluxe Class, number 2 of 6 to form Devastator. Now, the scrap package said 1 of 5, and I erroneously thought that maybe it's because there's only going to be 5 boxes you have to collect, because Hook and Long Haul come in the same Commander class box. But they have now corrected it on Bonecrusher, so they're actually saying, yes, it's 6 characters to make your Devastator. Now, 16 steps get you all the way around from robot to vehicle and back again. Ages 8+, Transformers Studio Series, Constructicon, Bonecrusher. Now, turn to the, I guess some Devastator artwork. Turn to the back. Again, there's 16 steps, get you all the way around. Nice little picture from the Transformers movie, and my God, they fixed this, but they really screwed up this. So let's read it together here. Bonecrusher bats the Autobots in Autobot City on Earth. So let's see. They misspelled Bonecrusher, misspelled battles, and didn't capitalize Autobots. Okay. So yeah, the first line totally screwed up. So while they fixed this, they screwed up the back. And we got Bonecrusher sliding and grinding his way in here as he has no wheels. There's no wheels on your Bonecrusher. Some little tab marks here. I bet that's probably for the connection onto Hook and Long Haul to form Devastator. I guess the wheels would get in the way of the engineering for the legs and stuff. But hey, even the G1 Bonecrusher did not have wheels. So yeah, it was been around since G1. But yeah, usually this is nowadays, 40 years later, you think they can get some wheels. As the Voyager class Combiner Wars did include some wheels. They got them right here on the legs, which maybe they could have done that right up here as well. But they got this wheels right here on this, because there's none on the back part. They're here in this piece, which means they would have had to include it somewhere in here. Instead, we got a little hollow gap. Maybe some third-party company can give you some wheels there and something you can slide in there. I really don't care. He's going to be the arm of Devastator. And then I have 2. The other one will be just in robot mode, most likely. Because I'm not going to be rolling around playing with it. I'm just going to have it sitting on a shelf. So, starting off in vehicle mode, looks fine. Very bland though, very much green. Do have a little bit of silver paint here among the treads for the wheels that the treads would go over. But the wheels here are not painted. Same on this side as well. You get some silver from the pins that are pinned through. About dropped them. Purple paint here in the front to mimic the G1 cartoon. We got, I think the G1 cartoon only had like 1 spot maybe. We'll have to look at that in a second. And then we have the Decepticon logo right there. The gun pegs in right on top. Back. Green plastic, there are 2 shades, you can kind of tell. There's a darker green and then more of a brighter green color. This is the different types of plastic. Also, these back tabs here don't hold in very well for me. There we go. Now see, pop right back out already. See, they don't hold in very well. But otherwise, the rest of his tabs are really good. He's very solid. Very, very solid. This one's solid as well, all the tabs. So, comparison here with the Combiner Wars Bonecrusher. Much bigger, got a little more color with some silver here, some black right there, some silver paint on the side, purple up here. This is more G1 accurate. This little piece here is this has like a cab in the back. Again, there's no color here. You can see the color differences they went with the colors of Devastator. This is more cartoon. This is leaning a little more towards the toy colors, a little bit brighter green, I would say. Or you can say darker green, as this could be a brighter color. Now more of the black showing in the back, was he's more of the green colors shining through. I ain't gonna sing. And a comparison here with the animation models, so you can get a look at them 2 together. That's what this is pretty much trying to be based off of. It's how Transformers the movie, the Transformers movie models are based out of the original cartoon. Bringing in the G1 toy. Now this isn't the G1 pure. This is the encore release from Takara Tomy back in 2012. Difference here is they added the tab to keep the arms tabbed together in vehicle mode. So I was back in the G1 toy, the arms flopped around pretty easily. This tabs them together so they stay a little more solid. And the colors here you can see on the bottom of this more or less mimics more of the Combiner Wars than it does with this one. It's going more for the cartoon. Again, original G1 had no wheels either. And it's pretty plain Jane in the green. There's no colors, just for the black on the screws here. Now for the people who have the KO undersized version of the Combiner Wars Devastator, this is the Bonecrusher from that set. The colors are fading on some of this green. It doesn't show up as much on camera, but in person this is very, very pale now. I don't know if that's the original way it came or not. This is just an undersized KO of the big Combiner Wars. It even has the wheels, but these purple ones here, as they're purple on this, they're black on this, they don't spin for crap. You know, they don't move. This one here does fine. So he doesn't really roll either. He just glides around. So this is just the undersized KO, meant to be deluxe scale. So we had a combiner, a Devastator that scaled with your Combiner Wars combiners. So this is deluxe. This is pretty much based on that same kind of scaling. Would be a deluxe in theory, but he's a little small for an actual deluxe, especially in vehicle mode compared to the Studio Series Bonecrusher. Yes, I know I'm doing this review a little backwards, going from vehicle to robot, but it doesn't matter. We're going to remove the gun, and we'll get this figure into robot mode. Alright, now have Bonecrusher in robot mode. Take his gun. Either hand will do. Stick it in there. Hold his weapon. Nice little weapon. So, articulation on Bonecrusher. You get T-pose all the way around here. We got ball jointed elbows. And that's where you can get your swivel. So, I can see people thinking that might be a little cheap. And these don't really stay up very well. Ball jointed shoulders as well. There is no waist swivel, as all this is one piece. You can bring this down if you want to waist swivel them. But then you gotta have this hanging around and stuff. He is a little chunky. You know, he's been one too many times to the pizza buffet. That's probably his biggest problem. You do get a thigh swivel here. The knees lock in. You do get a 90-degree bend there. Catches there. Feet also lock. You do get tilts there. And let's see. You get the full split. Really good kick forward. Good kick back as well. So you get some decent articulation on the figure. I just kind of wish these tabbed in up here, because they do get kind of floppy, especially when I move the arms around. But they're easy to push back up. Head 360 all the way around. Up because the piece will go up for you. Down because the piece will move down for you. There's no wobble or anything that way. So that is your articulation on Bonecrusher. Overall, he's a little stubby. He's chunky or chonky. And he's stubby. He's got a big waist. He's thick. He's a thick boy. In the cartoon, he's a thin boy. And you can do some quick comparison here with the animation model. You can see in the animation, he's thinned up. Now, to do things, you're not going to get anything 100% perfect or accurate, because cartoons and animation models can cheat things. Whereas when you try to make an actual toy of something, you can't cheat that. He's got to have pieces go somewhere, and this is how he comes out. He comes out chunky. So he's going to be an arm, so you got to have all these different things for the arm. I should have showed you the arm mode before I got him to robot mode, because the arm mode is pretty much the alt mode, just a few little changes here and there. But otherwise, it's fine. We'll get to that in a minute. Got more cartoon accuracy of the paint job here. It's the kind of insignia there. Nice faint face with red paint. I was getting ahead of myself trying to say red paint, so I called them faint. Got purple painted hands. You can see the little hollow bits here on the side. That's for tabs that you're going to lock in. So that's there. The legs on the hollow parts here. Also, they hollowed it out because that's where these tabs. That's for the motion peg. This is for a tab. And I guess maybe they just hollowed out the rest of it for looks. I don't know. More pieces here for tabbing on. And also the tab back here is what goes on into this slot up here. So he's close to animation enough, especially in color scheme and everything, just not in his slender build. Now we'll bring in the Combiner Wars version of Bonecrusher, who was a Voyager class, but those are really big boys. You can see how big he is. He's chunky as well. He's a thick boy, but he's a little more slender here in the waist. So I think it helps with his proportions. But it's cheap crap in a way. That crotch does not want to stay. And these hips come down very easily. You got the wheels here in the front, which kind of look awkward. Otherwise, I do like the silver paint in the arms, even though that's not animation accurate. That's more toy look going there. The head sculpt, very much the same head. They just sort of just shrunk that down here for your Studio Series. So side view, back view. His legs got to extend out and down, whereas he's on sliders, which is reminiscent of the G1 toy, because the feet were on sliders, had to slide down. But he's very loosey-goosey right here in the knees and the crotch. And you can tab this to your heart's content and hear the snap, but it is not going to stay in. It's very horrible there. We'll bring in the undersized KO of this. It's even worse. It's a piece of crap figure. Very small in robot mode, more slender, probably more cartoon accurate in the actual proportions of the robot. But the crotch, I think, holds together actually better on the KO, but the hips are extremely loose, and you'll have to probably treat those. Also, the chest piece does not come right to the head. It's just not sit well. They added a pin through here as well, whereas the Combined Wars version did not have that. Yeah, he's just very loosey-goosey, whereas this one, he's sturdy. All the joints are nice and stiff and tight. G1, see how that, you got the silver arms. That's where the Combined Wars was mimicking. Totally didn't have a face. He just had like a little silver like eye beam, but you get more circuitry kind of showing there. Oh my god, Hollow and Gappy, do better, hasbro, do better. So yeah, still very similar to the G1 toy. Bringing in his partner in crime, here is Scrapper, Age of the Primes, Aerobot Air Raid, Legacy Stunticon breakdown. Alright, let's get Bonecrusher into what I believe is going to be his arm mode. Now, the instructions do not show this, but you can look at pictures online from the designers have showed off the prototype Devastator. Look at that, and you can sort of figure this guy out. Thing is, I transformed this guy out of package without looking at the instruction anyway. He's very easy and simplistic transformation to get from robot to alt mode, and figure out the arm mode. Again, it's going to be pretty simple. Alright, so we're going to get Bonecrusher into his arm mode. Start off with the vehicle mode here. It's very simple. You just want to untab his legs, pull this piece out. Now, this piece here actually comes separate in the box. You don't have to snap this piece onto this black piece here. You want to snap it this way, where this hollow bit faces down, but you have this hollow bit facing up, because if you get it on the wrong way, it causes problems. So to bring this out, and that's going to be his arms. These will stay tabbed back into here. Now, I'm sure all this is going to hook onto, long haul hook and all them. You got these tabs, and that's going to be the arm. So this is going to be your articulation for the arm here. You'll move out. You'll get your rotation here as well. And this will be your elbows. You'll probably turn this, I'm assuming this way, because there's a peg hole here, and that's probably what the other piece will lock on. Because it'll go this way, and that'll be the forearm and hand for Devastator, because you get a better elbow bend out of this part. You can actually get it to touch. If you turned it the other way, it doesn't get a full bend. So I'm assuming it's going to be this way here. Now, this piece here, some people say you need to fold this down like this or something, but in all the pictures shown from the prototypes and stuff from the designers, they have this piece sticking up. Now, the animation model has like a weird triangle, which is probably more or less, that's what I think people are trying to do. You'll have to untab that and then bend this down to get this weird triangle piece. That's going to get in the way of your articulation. I think it's just better left like this, and it tabs in. So I think it's just better left like this for your articulation. If you're going to be posing them and moving around, I think it's just going to look better like that. So that's going to be your articulation as the Devastator arm. And the connection points, these tabs here are used to tab into the side of this in a vehicle mode. They might be used to help lock on to the finished Devastator model. So let's get to the final thoughts. Final thoughts here on Studio Series 86 Bonecrusher. I like the figure. I think it looks very close to animation and colors and decor. His paint job. But he is a chunky boy. Sees one too many buffets. Kind of short-limbed in the arms. But that's a trade-off. I think he's going to look fine as part of Devastator, which is why you pretty much got this. And it's supposed to be the animation colors anyway. So if you don't like the color scheme, there's always the Combiner Wars or the undersized KO version of that you can buy to satisfy a more toy-esque color scheme for your Bonecrusher and keep that kind of Devastator. Of course, the Combiner Wars Devastator is 18 inches if you're a size king or queen. This one's going to be about 13 inches tall in combined mode for Devastator. The weapon is blast effect compatible, so that does carry over from the old War for Cybertron era. So we can actually use some blast effects. Now, some toys, the figures now, the guns do not do this, but his does. He looks good. I like him. It could have been better, yes, but I'm hoping that the finish mode for Devastator is going to be great. Now, at Combiner Wars, individually, the robots all suffered tremendously, especially long haul. But I think the combined form was fine. And I think they started with Devastator and then deconstructed to the individual bots. They might have done that here as well. But the individual bots, especially Scrapper and Bonecrusher, so far have gotten a little bit more love, in my opinion, than their Combiner Wars counterparts. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. Until the next ones. Peace out.